Hey guys, it's your girl Carrie, and as promised, here's part 2 of my fall and winter shoe off-season haul. Now these are the shoes that I purchased off-season last year or in previous years that now I will actually be wearing them this upcoming fall and winter. So let's first start with the loafer. This is your kind of everyday shoe, your everyday work shoe. Everyone needs a nice loafer. So if you recall from my part 1 video, I have a love for the horse bit detail on shoes, and I have almost every style of shoe with the horse bit detail on it. So these first loafers right here, they have the silver horse bit detail and they are a blush suede, and I picked these up from Marshalls and they're by the brand Furka 81 and they were made in Italy. And then here's the tag. They were on clearance, and if you remember my video on how I taught you guys how to read the tag in Marshalls and TJ Maxx, these shoes were originally selling in Marshalls for $129.99. They were marked down several times until they were marked down to $38. These shoes typically run anywhere between $260 and $300, so to get them for $38 was a steal. If you look on the back, this is a good sign, or well, at least used to be, because now they've changed the rules. But if you see this symbol here, the cowhide leather type of skin symbol, but inside you see those words, and if you see that symbol, that means the leather actually came from a region in Italy, but now the French and other European countries want to use this sign, so it's no longer exclusive. But again, if you see this sign, you can rest assured that you're off to a good start. So the sole of this shoe is leather, the upper is leather, the inside is leather. So this is a really good shoe and it's really comfortable. These little ankle, well, they're not ankle, they're a little bit above the ankle. They're kind of like mid-calf boots. These are by the brand Zac Posen, and I picked these up. This will be my 3rd winter wearing these, and I absolutely love these boots. I got these from Nordstrom Rack, and they were on clearance when I picked them up. I believe they were $79 if I'm not mistaken, and I am going to try to pull up, see if I can find them online, what the original price was. But I absolutely love them. They are, again, they're all leather, but they're leather upper and leather insole, but the bottom is a man-made material. Next up are these Gucci loafers. I think these are called the Gucci Baby. That's the style. I love these. I wanted these, but I was not willing to pay $1,050 for these shoes. So when my husband and I were in Europe this past spring, I took a trip into the Gucci store and I was checking out the loafers. I really had been wanting them for quite some time, and I don't know if you're familiar, and I don't know if many of you know that if you purchase luxury goods in Europe, you get a significant discount. But even with the discount there, I would have still been paying upwards of $700 for the shoes, and I just can't bring myself to spending $700 for a single pair of shoes. But I ended up getting lucky by being patient. So about a week after we came back, I stopped in Nordstrom Rack, and it just so happened to be having their annual designer clearance sale. And this sale, you never know the date, they never know when the items are going to come in, but once a year all of the designer items from the actual Nordstrom store, whether they were items on mannequins, whether they were items that were returned by customers that purchased them, but they decided they didn't want them, but they couldn't put them back into inventory. Things like that. They send them off to Nordstrom Rack and sell them at a huge discount. And it just so happens the exact color, the exact style, the shoe that I exactly wanted was there. And I was able to pick them up not for $1,050, but for $299. So next up, we're going to share these shoes right here. I call these kind of like a shooty. They're like a wedge shaped shoe and kind of like a booty at the same time. So this is kind of like a shooty wedge heel, and I absolutely love these shoes because they're so comfortable. And what's on trend right now, again, I don't follow trends because I've had these shoes for about 7 years and I pull them out every single fall. But it's nice to know that wedges are in right now, and I love them because they're so comfortable. And I also love them because, you know, they're suede. Now these were out in the summer. When I purchased them off season. And the great thing about this is that, you know, the suede can go all the way through the winter. So buying these at the end of the summer, but being able to wear them through the fall was great. You can see they're, you know, they're getting a little worn, but that's another thing about suede. I like suede because, you know, as you kick around and mess the shoe up, suede is very forgiving. It really doesn't, peel like a leather would. So these have held up nicely for the past 7 years. Next up, you always need a good rain boot for fall and winter. For the past several years, have really wanted a pair of the Chloe rain boots, and I had been looking for a dupe because there was no way I was going to spend upwards of $600 for a rubber shoe. And if you recall, maybe several years ago, I shared a haul, and I think I had a pair of the knee length Hunter rain boots, and I have since sold those. I have purchased those at a great price, but what I found with the Hunter rain boots, when you walk, it kind of bends and it hurts your shin, and I just couldn't deal with that. So I put those in the consignment shop, and I decided the best type of boot for me, rain boot, would just be a shorter rain boot that was kind of like a little bit above your ankle, like a mid-calf rain boot. I'm going to flip the camera around and show you the beautiful, at least I think, beautiful rain boots that I picked up that would kind of keep me looking chic. So here are the rain boots. When I say they are, you know, a very, very, very close replica of the Chloe rain boots, I mean, I love this color. It's a neutral nude color, and I like it because it's kind of, you know, jazzy and chic. It has a square toe, but not too square. It has a chunky heel, but not too chunky. I like the chunkiness of the back. I like this part. I don't like that extra exaggerated chunkiness, but these are perfect for me. And I've worn these last year, and this will be my second year owning these. And I picked these up at Nordstrom Rack on sale off season 2 years ago, and these were $49. And here's a tip: when you're looking at shoes, especially if you're looking at the luxury kind, I'm not saying don't buy them, but just actually know what you're getting. It doesn't make sense for me to spend $600 on a plastic rubber shoe. And here's a black version This is not the same as the French Connection ones, but they're very similar. And again, I wanted a black rain boot as well, so then I could have both a neutral, tan or beige and a black. What I like about these is that it has the fold over sock. This is really a nice touch. And these are also rubber like rain boots. Now these are by the brand Circus New York, and I think that's the lower line for the Sam Edelman shoes. It's kind of like the teen or young adult line of shoes, but they're also owned by Sam Edelman. And these were just $29.99. I did pay full price for these because I do not think they were going to be there on clearance. I only saw one pair, so I wasn't willing to wait. Next up are sneakers. Yes, you need a good, comfortable pair of sneakers to get you through the fall, winter, and actually all year around. And I believe in my last video, I told you I am really not a sneaker person, but if I had to purchase sneakers, I absolutely love the retro sneakers, especially the ones that have the brown rubber gum sole. And I had been wanting this pair of sneakers for so long, but could not find them because they had been sold out for months. So when I was in Europe, almost every single third person had these sneakers on. Saw them, I said, oh my gosh, I want those. Went to the sneaker store there. They were completely sold out. And I really needed a pair of sneakers because I did not bring any sneakers with me when we went to Europe. I bought like Chelsea boots and things like that. And I quickly knew that I needed a pair of sneakers with the amount of walking that we were doing. So I'm going to share with you the sneakers I picked up while I was in Europe that I absolutely loved, and then the sneakers I actually wanted that I actually found here in the States. So here are the sneakers that I just wanted so bad but could not find. These are by New Balance, and these are called the New Balance 327s, I believe. And they were just all the rage in Europe. I mean, everyone had these shoes on, and they've made their way to the United States as well. I think a lot of people are starting to purchase this retro kind of looking sneaker. Now, these sneakers come in many different colorways, many different fabrics and materials. I was specifically looking for this color pattern. It's kind of neutral, it's off-white, but it also has some taupe on it. It matches a lot of my clothing already. And then also the pieces in here, this is suede right here. All of these pieces here are suede, but in between the suede, these are leather pieces. I definitely wanted to make sure I had the leather pieces because I wanted to be able to wipe these down easily. Some of them have just fabric, some of them have like a tint like feeling material, but these are the ones I wanted. I love the little tip of rubber in the front, and then in the back you can just see that gum sole. I think these are just absolutely fabulous. Now in Europe they were $140 in the store, but they weren't available in the color I wanted. Here in the US these are $100 a pair, but Dick's Sporting Goods was having a sale and I was able to get them for $66. So I'm super happy about that. I have not worn these yet. Now let's compare them to the ones I bought while I was in Europe, specifically London. I purchased these in London, and again, if the women weren't wearing these pair, the New Balance, they were wearing these. These are by a London brand called Mark and Spencer. And these cost me $45. As you can see, I really got my wear out of them. We were in Europe. We visited 4 countries over a 2-week period. And honestly, the second day we were there, I picked these up and I didn't wear anything but these. We were walking, like literally we walked everywhere. And so these are the most comfortable shoes, and as you can see, they look very similar to the New Balance. And these are actually suede as well. This area is suede, but if you recall why I said I wanted the leather here, it is cloth in between the suede pieces here, and that's really hard to clean. So that's why I wanted to make sure I got a pair that was all leather. So here is another neutral sneaker. It's kind of like a gray suede and white kind of nylon. And this is by the brand Trenton. And this is an alternative to, I think everyone now is getting those Adidas Samba sneakers. They've been around, those Adidas have been around for many, many years, and they never went out of style, but I think, you know, they're just making a comeback. They're trending right now. And I like this because this is a thin, streamlined shoe. This can work well with jeans, and it can also work well with dress pants. And I picked these up off season. They were originally, I remember how I told you to read the tags, these last numbers. Here is $29.99. So they were selling these shoes for $29.99 in Marshalls, and then they were marked down to $19. Next up, another classic. You cannot do fall and winter without having a Chelsea boot. So I have two pair. In two neutral colors, a black and a kind of like tannish taupe color. So here are these black ones. They're just very simplistic. It has a nice lug, chunky lug sole, nice, you know, grip. These are, you know, comfortable. Once you break them in, I wouldn't start off right away wearing them all day, but once they were broken in, I mean, these are super comfortable. I picked these up off season last year for our European trip, vacation in the spring. And I got these. These are by Cynthia Rowley, and they are leather. The top portion's leather, everything else is man-made, and they have this like fabric, stretch fabric right there. And these I got for $15. I can't remember what the original price were, but again, you have to break in your shoes. If you're going to take a new pair of shoes on a trip, I would suggest you wear them, break them in before you even pack them, because again, these hurt my feet with all the walking we did the first day that we were there. But now that they're broken in, absolutely love, love, love these. The next boot I have is another Chelsea boot, and this one is by that brand Dolce Vita, and this is a suede boot, and it has a rubber heel. And I got these 2 years ago, so this will be my third winter and fall wearing these boots this go around. And these were originally $59.99, and I got them on clearance for $20. Now remember I told you about that brand Dolce Vita. You got to kind of be a little skeptical. As you can see here, it says Dolce Vita, and then on the bottom of the shoe, you want to flip it over and you want to see the words Dolce Vita. Now here's the deal with Dolce Vita. You would see Dolce Vita in the department stores like Macy's or Dillard's, Bloomingdale's, even Nordstrom. And so when you go to the discount stores like TJ Maxx or Marshalls, you'll also see both Dolce Vita and then their lower line DV by Dolce Vita. So they like to take a shoe that they're selling in the department store, and then it will make an exact dupe of their dupe, like a lower line. For example, if you saw this boot, this is about the third year, because I've had these for, this is going to be my third winter wearing these in the store. They have them in the stores in TJ Maxx and Marshalls right now, again this year. You'll see two versions. You'll see this version here that actually has suede. You can look at them carefully, because one, I think the suede one is still at $59.99, and then there's another one. It's like that fake suede that it's basically material. It's fabric. And you will see inside, it doesn't say Dolce Vita. It has a D and a V with it. DV, Dolce Vita. And that's the cheaper line. And you will notice that the rubber on the sole of the cheaper DV, Dolce Vita, is a lot. You can definitely tell once you touch or feel that it's a lower quality. The rubber is more like a fabric rubber. This is more, the upper is fabric. And so when you're looking and comparing, make sure if you see the DV Dolce Vita, that means it's the lower line. If you just see Dolce Vita, that means you're getting the higher line, the one that's actually being sold in Dillard's and you're actually getting the higher line that's being sold in Dillard's and Macy's. And normally when they are selling in Dillard's, Macy's, and Nordstrom, the shoes or boots in this case run about $150 in the stores there, but then you can get them about half price or more in TJ Maxx and Marshalls. And I'm going to show you another dupe from Dolce Vita and the DV Dolce Vita line as well. So Dolce Vita also has a wonderful dupe of the Chloe sneaker. I've been wanting this sneaker for quite some time, but again, I was not going to pay upwards of $1,000 for a sneaker. I love the the natural fabric detail here, but again, knowing that this is fabric, it is going to get messed up or ruined very easily. And I know this is not a shoe that I would wear all the time. It's just kind of like a statement shoe. So I wanted to, wanted it to be relatively inexpensive. So let me share with you the Dolce Vita versus the DV by Dolce Vita of this Chloe dupe. So here is the shoe. I'm going to show it up close. I just love it because I like this kind of oatmeal-y taupe color. It's all one color. It's very understated, but because of all the textures, it looks really nice. Now, you will see in TJ Maxx and sometimes Marshalls, this looks like it appears to be the exact same sneaker, and it's going to be selling for $69.99. The one that's $69.99 is the actual one that's being sold in Dillard's, Macy's, and Nordstrom. This one here, as you can see, it says Dolce Vita DV. You see the DV at the top in there? That means it's the cheaper line. And then on the bottom of the shoe, you see DV, Dolce Vita. That means it's the lower line. And if you look carefully, you will definitely see differences between the cheap version and the expensive version. I have the cheap version here. It's $24.99. It was reduced for me. I think this cheap version was $39.99 originally, but they gave it to me for $24.99 because, as you can see, one of the loops is missing. So anyhow, as you look, this right here is just all man-made. It's faux leather. On the other ones, the higher end, they're suede right here. And as you can see on the other ones, the rubber part here, there is a much better quality. In addition, when you flip it over, this is not rubber. I don't know what this is. It's kind of like ground up rubber fabric bits. I was trying to look at what it says on the bottom. It says fabric flocked outsole. So I guess the sole is fabric flocked. I don't know what that means, but it has a funny feeling, and it's not rubber. The difference. And then also, as you look towards the back, all of the detail in the back is missing on the cheaper shoe. This is completely blank. It doesn't have all the detailing like the other shoe, but for me, I thought this would be perfect. Next up, you guys know we always need a dressy shoe for all of those holiday parties and galas and things like that coming up. And what I wanted to do was just streamline my dress shoe collection. I don't have that many formal shoes. What I did have in the past, the heels were too high, so I purged all those out of my closet, and I just wanted two simple staple pair that would probably go with anything that I purchased to wear to a formal in the future. Both of these are dupes of other brands. My black satin pumps could be dupes for the Roger Vivier or the Manolo Blahnik, whichever one, take your pick. They both make a similar pump. And then my silver antique shoes are dupes for the, I don't know if you pronounce it Mach and Mach or Mac and Mac. Let me know in the comments down below if you know the correct pronunciation of that shoe. So I thought these were so beautiful and so ladylike when I saw them in DSW. Again, these are dupes of the Mach and Mach, but again, I was not interested in paying $1,300, anywhere between $1,000 to $1,300, depending on the style, fabric and, different color that you would get. I'm not interested in paying that. But also, I just think this shoe fits my personality better. The Mach and Mach shoe has a double bow. I think, that's just too much bling for me. I just wanted something simple, and it's also very exaggerated. It's huge. It comes well, past the shoe, past the width of the shoe, and that's just way too much for me. It has the little bling here. I just like a little subtle bling, and I like it's kind of like a fabric, but it's coated. You can wipe this off easily, but it has a sheen. It's not super shiny, but it's a sheen, and it looks really well against the bling. Another thing that I noticed about the Mach and Mach or Mac and Mac shoe is that the crystals, this crystal goes all the way up and around the strap. And when I first saw those in the store, I said, this is such a poor design. Why would they make these this crystal go all the way up around the strap? When you strap it over top of each other, it's going to just rub all the crystals out or have them pop off or ruin them. And after watching tons of reviews on this shoe, many people said, oh my gosh, I wore these one time, the crystals fell out. And then folks would try to say, oh, they're so delicate, the crystals will fall out. Nothing should be too delicate that the crystals will fall out when you're paying $1,300 for a shoe. No, it's just cheaply made, and you wasted your money on something that was just cheaply made, poorly constructed. So I think since then they've had all of these issues. They put some instructions in the box to say how to try to strap them on. Just in general, let's just talk about crystals or diamonds or anything in general. You don't want anything rubbing your crystals. So let's, for example, take my wedding band, engagement ring and my wedding band. It looks like it's, diamonds all the way around, but I made sure that I didn't have them all the way around. When we got my rings, I just said, hey, I want it halfway around so it looks like it's going around my whole finger, but on the other side it's plain, it's nothing. Could you imagine if I had diamonds going all the way around? Anytime I did anything, put lotion on, cooked, or anything like that, you would get so much buildup in the diamonds and things like that. So it just doesn't make sense. So when you're purchasing things, buying things, think about how you're going to use it, how it's going to wear and tear, and make an assessment before you make an investment. Okay? So I was really, really pleased with these. This will be my third year wearing these. And I got them, I want to say they were originally $66, and then I got them 30% off. And these will just kind of like be in rotation year after year, simply because I don't wear them that often. The next shoe I picked up, I actually just picked these up a few days ago. It's this classic satin black pump with the, bling bling embellishment or brooch on the front, and these are very similar to the Manolo Blahnik or the Roger Vivier shoes. Again, both of them are well over $1,000. I think the Roger Vivier runs around $2,000 for a satin pump with a crystal buckle, and the Manolo Blahniks are, you know, anywhere from $1,000 to $1,300. Now, what I would say, do not spend. Now, what I would have to say about these shoes, the Manolo Blahniks, the Roger Viviers, anything like a satin shoe, it's going to get ruined. Like, satin is not a durable, you know, material. It's very delicate. And why would you wear a pair of shoes that are going to get ruined? Now, black satin, I think it's probably one of the most forgiving. If you get a lighter color, you get it wet, you get oil on it, grease on it, you're going to see that. Just like with a satin shirt or a silk shirt, satin acts just like silk. So I wouldn't invest a lot of money on a satin shoe. And the crystals in the front on those shoes, they're not real. They're fake as well. So I just personally would not, you know, invest that much money in that type of shoe. And especially, it's not going to be an everyday shoe. This is kind of for, you know, dressier occasions. Even though you can sometimes get away wearing these with jeans, you could dress it up, dress it down. But I just don't see, you know, I just don't see the cost benefit of investing that much in a shoe. And again, make an assessment before you make an investment. So I picked these up for $34.99 at TJ Maxx, and I'm just going to keep these in my closet for, you know, many years to come. The heel is not that high, and this is pretty comfortable, and I really just think it's an elegant shoe. And our last category are knee-high boots. Now I have one in a wedge heel and one in a stacked heel, and they are also both in neutral colors, and both of these I've already had. I picked them up off season several years ago. I think I shared these about 2 years ago in a haul, a luxury haul, and then I've never shared these, but I've had these for about almost 3 to 4 years now. I think this will be my 4th season going into these boots. But both of these I've picked up off season from Ross stores, and these are by the brand Vince. I think I shared a pair of sneakers in my previous video by the brand Vince. Very good quality boot, and this one is by the maker Frye. And Frye, once upon a time, used to be an excellent leather maker. Like many other companies that were well known for their quality and construction, they were bought out by a conglomerate, and the quality went down, and people are just, you know, trying to hang on to that heritage and brand recognition, the name that they have built for themselves over the years. So you have to be really careful when you're picking up Frye boots to kind of dissect them and know what you're actually getting. This video will be super long if I went into detail about how to look at the different Frye boots, but here's one thing that I want to share with you about, you know, boots in general. Look at this one. This one I really like. It's a wedge heel. It's super comfortable. I can walk in these for hours. I love the taupe color because it matches you know, almost everything in my closet, but I absolutely love these boots. Now, one thing you want to look for when you're looking for a boot, if it's going to be something you want to invest in and wear for quite some time, many, many years, you can get some, you know, good wear. Again, I'm going on year 4 with these boots. I think I paid $50 for them. You have all of your leather, you know, outer portion of the boot is all leather, but on the inside, what you also want to make sure of is looking at what it's made of on the inside, because that's what's going to you know, deteriorate quickly. You want to either have, ideally you would like to have the inside be leather as well as the outside, but a lot of times inside is going to be PVC, faux leather, basically aka plastic, or you might have fabric. or sometimes the band up here will be leather, and then this is you know, fabric. So I would first like to have an entire leather lining. If not, at least this rim part is leather, and then this is fabric. I'm going to show you a pair of boots that I've had for several years, but I'm getting rid of them. I'll show you what happens to the inside of boots that are not leather. Now here is a brown, you know, a brown riding boot that I had for, oh my gosh, many years. I would say at least 8 years. I've shared these in other videos, like when I did outfits on how to look expensive for a fraction of the cost. These boots, I love. The leather on the outside is excellent. I love the softness, the suppleness. They were so comfortable. But on the inside, as you can see, look, when you get that fake faux leather, do you see all of that? That peels up. It gets all over your clothing. And as you can see in the top, look at that. Can you see all of that? It's just crinkled and ripped all up. You see? Can you see all of that? Right there. It's just all peeling. But as you can see, the bottom half is fabric. It is just, nothing's wrong with this part. So if this was all, if they would have just taken the leather from there, put that little bit of leather in here and down the side, and put that leather down the side, this boot would probably last a lifetime almost. And so what I'm thinking, what I might be able to do is just kind of get this part covered again. I could put some moleskin on it or something like that, because the rest of the boot is perfect. It's, you know, it just needs a little bit of shining up and it'll be perfect. So when you're buying a quality boot, at least this part would be leather, and then that could be fabric. This won't wear away, but this will wear away. So pay attention to that. The outside leather, at least the leather band, and some fabric. And here is just a heeled, has a stacked heel, really chunky. I like this. It's not skinny, it's not stiletto. It gives me stability, especially with, you know, us plus size women. It's much better to have a heel with a lot more stability. It kind of distributes your weight a lot better. The heel is not high, it's pretty short. So you know, it's like kind of a mid-height, but about the highest I will go now, because I just can't wear super high heels. It has like an almond shaped toe. It's just a classic, classy black knee-high boot. And this one is by the brand Vince. And again, this one is leather all over. So this one's going to last a pretty good time. And as you look underneath the bottom of the shoe, it says made in Italy. It doesn't have the that leather picture of like the cowhide, but it does has the words that we talked about. I know I'm butchering how to say it, so I won't say it, but you can see those words there, letting you know that these shoes were made in Italy from really good leather. And this is a leather sole, and as you can see, leather soles don't hold up as well as some of the other soles, but you can resole them or put rubber pads over them after the sole wears out. And leather soles also just absorbs everything from the outside elements. But for some reason, a lot of the high-end shoes, they want to make the entire product leather. So guys, these are the staple shoes that I will be wearing this fall and winter. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, I'm going to keep calm and carry on. Bye guys.